Hello boys and girls, I'm ready to give you your new spelling words, so please take out your brown book and a pencil. Once you have those ready, you can restart this video so that you can follow along with me as I give you your new words. But first, let's review some of the phonogram sounds, the new ones from, I guess it's 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago, and some of the old sounds that we know that will help you with our new words. So let's practice our new sounds. We have or, as in for. E-a, eat, bread, break. Ooh, fruit suit. A, two-letter A, that we may use at the end of English words. A, two-letter A, that we may not use at the end of English words. Why? Because English words do not end with I, U, V, or J. Very good. Now, some of our older sounds that you will need to know. We have, remember this one makes 4 sounds. Ow, o, oo, round, soul, you, country. We have as in her. As in her. Shh. Kind of like shh, the baby's sleeping. Shh. Good. So you will see those sounds pop up in our new words. And now some rules that you'll need to remember. Rule 4, A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. Rule 5, I and Y usually say I at the end of a syllable. So they say the short sound of I. But they may say I at the end of a syllable. Usually say I, but may say I at the end of a syllable. And then rule 10, this is a long one, remember. SH is used at the beginning of a word, at the end of a syllable, but not at the beginning of any syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. So that's a long one. So the rules of when we're allowed to use SH. So let's begin. Please open up your brown book to, you're going to open up to section C. We're going to get 10 new words in this column. But remember, you don't need your pencil yet because your pencils are down and eyes on me as I give you your first word. And your first word, you're going to laugh. It's a pretty easy word. So your first word, pencils down, eyes on me. Your first word is I. Use the word I if it is something that you do. So like, I eat mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving. I. How many syllables in I? I. 1 syllable. We think to spell I. I. That's it. Say it as you write it. For this one, though, let me give you a hint. Do you remember from your grammar book what word we always need uppercase with? So think about when you always need uppercase, which word always needs uppercase if it's this word which is a letter on its own. Okay, read what you've written. I. Dictate it back to me. I. Does your eye look like my eye? Good. Do we need any markings? What rule tells us why we need, why I makes I here? Good. It's rule number 5. I and Y usually say I at the end of a syllable, but it may say I. So, I, because it's on its own right here, it's saying I. And what do we do when a vowel says its own name? We underline. So usually an English word can't end in an I, right? But this is an exception. This is a word on its own. It's kind of a rule breaker. So it's I saying I at the end of a syllable, but it's its own word. It's the beginning of the word, the end of the word, the middle of the word. So I, you always need uppercase when you're using the word I. So we think I, we say I. Good. Pencils down, eyes on me. Your next word, underneath I, we will write the word me. We use the word me if it is something that you receive. Like, my mom gave the mashed potatoes to me. So I'm receiving it, me. How many syllables in me? Me. One syllable. We think to spell me. E. Repeat the way we think it. E. Say it as you write it. Read what you've written. Me. Dictate it back to me. E. Does your me look like my me? Good. Do we need any markings? Are there any rules that tell us anything? Good. Rule 4. A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. So this E says E because it's at the end of the one syllable word me. And what do we do when a vowel says its own name? We underline it. Good. So we underline the E in me. And what are we going to do with words that are very similar to each other that you know, we can connect them? What do we do in this book when that happens? I'll give you a hint. We did it with bag, bag, big, bog, bug. We use a bracket. I and me are both talking about yourself. They're different pronouns. So I is our subject. And me, we call it our object. We're going to give these a bracket, and we'll talk more about that this week. So I is who is the person talking, and me is the person receiving an action. Good. So we think E, we say me. Pencils down, eyes on me. Underneath me, we'll write the word you. You refers to the person you are talking to directly. So you ate mashed potatoes with me. You. How many syllables in you? You. One syllable. We think to spell you. Y. Ooh. Repeat the way we think it. Y. Ooh. This is ooh from ow, o, ooh, Remember I showed you those cards? The ooh from the two letters that make four sounds. Say it as you write it. Y, ooh. Read what you've written. You. Dictate it back to me. Y. Ooh. Does your you look like my you? Yes, it does. Good. If it doesn't, please fix it. So, what's our marking for you? Do we have any rules or phonogram sounds? We do. We have a phonogram sound, OU. And what sound does OU make? Does it make its first sound, ow? Does it say yow? What about O? Yo? Ow, O, ooh. Does it say y, ooh, you? Yes, it makes its third sound. Y, ooh, you. Good. So you is cool because it kind of does both the singular and the subject and the object of pronouns. So you picked up the book for you. you can be used both at the beginning and the end. Good. So we think y, oo, we say you. Pencils down, eyes on me. So underneath you, we're going to write the word he. He. Oh, whoops, I forgot to give you a sentence. So he refers to a male, a boy, a man who does something. So he ate cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving. He. How many syllables in he? He. One syllable. We think to spell he. E. Repeat the way we think it. E. Say it as you write it. Read what you've written. He. Dictate it back to me. E. Does your he look like my he? Do we need any markings? Yes, we do. We underline E. Why does the vowel E make the E sound here? Rule 4. A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. So, E. He. Good. I forgot to mention in the word U, English words usually don't end with I, U, V, or J. U is a rule breaker. So, but he is not breaking any rules. We think E, we say he. Pencils down, eyes on me. Underneath he, we'll write the word him. So him would be referring to a male, a boy, a man, who receives something. So he gave the cranberry sauce to him. So him. How many syllables in him? Him. One syllable. We think to spell him. I. Repeat the way we think it. I. Say it as you write it. This is I sound. I. I. Read what you've written. Him. Dictate it back to me. I. Does your him look like my him? Good. Do we need any markings? No, we don't. No markings. Everything makes its first sound. We think I, we say him. Excuse me. So here we need to bracket he and him, because they're both pronouns that talk about boys, males, men. He is the person, the subject, the one who's doing something. Him is the one who's receiving something. So again, we'll talk more about subject and object later this week, but he and him are both pronouns for boys, for men. Good. So pencils down, eyes on me. Underneath him, we'll write the word she. She refers to a female, a girl, a woman who's doing something. So she ate pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. She. How many syllables in she? She. One syllable. We think to spell she. Sh. E. Repeat the way we think it. Sh. E. Say it as you write it. Think about which two letters make sh. And then E. Say it as you write it. Read what you've written. She. Dictate it back to me. Sh. E. Does your she look like my she? Good. Do we need any markings? Yes, we do. We have 2 markings. Very good. We underline the SH because that's our double letter phonogram sound. Sh, SH work together to make the sh sound. And then E, when E makes its own sound, when vowels say their own name, we underline them. And why does E say E at the end of this syllable? A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. So we have sh, E, she. Very good. We think sh, E, we say she. Pencils down, eyes on me. Underneath she, we have 4 more words. Underneath she, we'll write the word her. Her refers to a female who receives something. So a girl who is getting something. So she gave the pumpkin pie to her. How many syllables in her? Her. 1 syllable. We think to spell her. Repeat the way we think it. Say it as you write it. 2 letters that make the sound. Read what you've written. Her. Dictate to me. Her. Does your her look like my her? Good. Do we need any markings? Yes. Underline as in her. Very good. ER teams up to make And we're going to give she and her a bracket because these are both pronouns that talk about girls, females, women. So she is the woman, the subject, who the sentence is about. Her is the one who's receiving something, the girl who is receiving the action. So she gave the pumpkin pie to her. He gave the cranberry sauce to him. I gave the mashed potatoes to me. You maybe gave the mashed potatoes to you. It's kind of a silly way to say it, but you can work as both. Good. So we think we say her. And pencils down, eyes on me. We're going to move on to your last 3 words. I'm sorry, I know this video is taking a long time, but you guys are troopers for hanging with me. So our next word, underneath her, we'll write the word it. It refers to a thing that is not a person. So, I dropped it on the ground. It fell on the ground. She gave it to me. So it is talking about a thing, not a person. It. How many syllables in it? It. 1 syllable. We think to spell it. It. Repeat the way we think it. It. Say it as you write it. It. Read what you've written. It. Dictate to me. It. Does your it look like my it? Good. Do we need any markings? No. Both these letters are making their first sound. We think it. We say it. It is kind of like you, where they're both pronouns that can be used both as the subject and the object. So it is on the floor with it. Excuse me. So pencils down, eyes on me. Underneath it, we'll write the word we. We refers to you and I doing the action. So we had a great time at Thanksgiving. We. How many syllables in we? We. 1 syllable. We think to spell we. W-E. Repeat the way we think it. W-E. Say it as you write it. W-E. Good. Read what you've written. We. Dictate it back to me. W-E. Does your we look like my we? Good. Do we need any markings? Yes. Underline the E. Because E is saying its name. When a vowel says its name, we underline it. And why does the E say E? We have so many of these today. A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. So we think W-E. W-E. We. Good. We is just like he and me. Me, he, we. All of them end in E. Oh, and she. Oh, gosh. Me, he, she, we. All end in E, but with a different beginning sound. Good. And something I forgot to reference with the rule for SH. Remember, SH makes the sh sound at the beginning of a syllable. So, she. Good. Last word, pencils down, eyes on me. You guys have lasted over 20 minutes. Underneath we write the word us. Us refers to you and I receiving an action. So we, maybe you say she gave the ice cream to us. So maybe it's me and you and your family. So she gave the ice cream to us. Us. It's like we, but the receiving kind of we. Us. How many syllables in us? Us. One syllable. We think to spell us. S. Repeat the way we think it. S. Say it as you write it. Think of which vowel says like us. Both short letters. Good. Read what you've written. Us. Dictate it back to me. S. Does your us look like my us? Good. Do we need any markings? No, we don't. Us, just both letters make their first sound. Us. So we think us, we say us. And we're going to bracket we and us because they are both pronouns talking about you and I. But we is talking about the subject, the beginning of the sentence. And then us would be you and I receiving something. So it would be more at the end of the sentence. Good. So these words are new words in section C, are all pronouns. We're going to read them once through all together and then I'll let you go. We have I, me, you, he, him, she, her, it, we, us. Very good, boys and girls. I know it's tough getting new spelling words on a video, and I know it's a long video to keep attention, but you did great. You deserve some ice cream from me, but I can't give you ice cream right now. We're virtual. So hope you have a great time with the rest of your lessons.